Hello, teacher. Today I will walk about my trip to England, exactly to Manchester. I traveled last month on a Tuesday morning. The flight took about 15 hours from the Lima airport to Manchester airport. I arrived tired and I just wanted to go to the hotel. After resting, I decided to go for a dinner near the hotel. This was the first time I visited England, and I didn't know their food. I thought I would look for a pizza, and I went back to the hotel, which was very nice, but I don't remember the name. I rented a room with only bed, very spacious, and with many accessories. The next day, I had a basic breakfast in the hotel and went to the John Ryland bookshop, where they didn't charge me entrance. This bookshop is fascinating me because you feel like are inside the books and it gothic style is incredible. I went out of there and looked for a restaurant for a lunch. This time, I ordered a fish and chips to try, and I was quite tasty. When I finished, I went for a walk through the streets, and I found a dessert called trifle in a window of a bakery, and I decided to try it because, according to the lady who sold it to me, it is not very common to find. In the afternoon, I walked to Albert Square in Manchester. It is beautiful at night, and I took the opportunity to smoke a cigarette while I was walking, and I sat down to enjoy the whole place. Finally, I went back to the hotel to rest again, and the next day I woke up early with a lot of hunger, and I looked for the closest thing to Peruvian breakfast, but I didn't find anything similar. I missed a lot the food of my country. So I went to supermarket to buy some yogurt with some biscuit while I enjoy the streets of Manchester. After eating, I walked through some parks, and I saw a little of the lifestyle of the people who have different customs than in my country. At lunch, I decided to go to eat a typical Manchester dish. I asked some people, and they told me that I was calling stick and kidney pudding. So I went to look for it, and I found it in a restaurant. I must admit that I don't like this very much because it's a stuffed kidneys, and I do not like a viscera in food. I left the restaurant and went to the famous state Old Trafford, also known as the Theatre of Dreams, where the Manchester United team plays. Because I visited the stadium when there was not much. I booked a tour where they explained me all the history of this team and the stadium. This took me all afternoon and part of the night. When I left, I took a taxi to the hotel, where I had dinner again, fish and chips, which was what I liked the most of the food. I finished dinner and I went to my room to rest to enjoy the last night in this great city. When I woke up in my last day in Manchester, I wanted to visit one of the most famous neighborhoods here is which is Chinatown, which is the second biggest Chinatown in the United Kingdom. I love it, Chinatowns, and could not miss the one. I ate inside the Chinatown, where the food is very good. I went out walked around while I bought some souvenir for my family and my friends who are waiting for me in Peru. In the afternoon, I went to Samble Square, where I found several buildings with medieval style and had a coffee in the Manchester Arndale, the most important shopping center in Manchester, similar to London Eye. I looked in several shops until the evening. This time I was not hungry, so I did not have a dinner, and I went to the hotel to rest for the next day to return to Peru. When I woke up, I got all my bags ready for the return trip. My flight was leaving at 9 a.m. So I left the hotel at 6 a.m. and took a taxi to the airport. On the way, the taxi driver asked me I was a foreigner. So I told him yes, I was from Peru and that I was coming on holiday for 3 days. I arrived at the airport and went to the departure lounge to board the plane that will bring me back to Peru. Even though this was a short trip and enjoyed it very much, and I am sure I will come back to see more places of the amazing continent and this beautiful city. It's all, teacher.